Any tips for presentation of our concepts? Anything to avoid? Yeah, I think don't get too crazy with like the presentation. I think it's nice to have like maybe a name, maybe a logo, email on the bottom corner or top corner somewhere, maybe some title card or something. But like, don't get too crazy like 90s with it. You know what I mean? Like adding like tons of graphics. Just like I've always just had a portfolio of just my images because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. I think that I should have been smart enough to put my name or email on all of them. That would have been smart, but I didn't. So I would say, yeah, maybe putting your name on them or some sort of signature that can be traced back to you. Yeah, I mean, if you're a character concept artist, there's no need to have a background. There just isn't. It's unnecessary. Yeah, no one cares. And the people that do, I don't know why they care so much. You know, like I've never been in a situation where my employer is like, we hired you. Like your characters are cool, dude. They're cool, but your presentation, that background, man, shoot, is that of legends. Don't get me wrong. Like I think that there are some really good presentations, and I think that helps a lot, but or helps at some level. But I don't really think it's necessary. I think what ends up happening, which is probably just my observation, is that the worse you are, the more you focus on presentation. Right? Like the worse your work is, then the more you're going to sit down and try to hide your work behind something other than the work. Because if you really are confident with your work, then you can just show it. Yeah, I think just having a simple thing, exactly. I don't think there's no need to have like a ton of other stuff. Right? Like, so if we take a look at like this image right here, I mean, do you think it mattered that it was in this backdrop? No, right? I mean, he changes the backdrop several times. I think it helps, but like even right here, when it's not really in any kind of environment, it's really nice. I mean, it's still kind of presented like as if it was in like some sort of car commercial. But I think that's just part of the beast when you render in these softwares. But okay, let's look at this, where it's not even in a background anymore, right? It's just a close-up shot of just epicness. You know, like this character that I'm about to paint is not going to be in the background. Sometimes I put them in backgrounds. Most of the time, I don't care. Doing that demo for Tony made me nostalgic for my old methods of painting. Used to use this one round brush for everything. It's time to bring it back. Should we focus on a style of it's better having some sci-fi fantasy? Should we focus on a style or it's better having? I don't know what you're trying to say. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm a big fan of focus. Yeah, whatever you can try to focus on, you should do it. If you like characters, it's possible to do multiple genres. Sure, right? Because I do, and I know many people who do. Like if you like characters in general, but you do sci-fi characters, fantasy characters, but they're always semi-stylistically realistic, meaning that they're not perfectly realistic like mine, are not perfectly realistic. They're more like in that stylized realism. Then then like I stick with that realm, right? I rarely get out of that realm. You know what I mean? Then yeah, I get it. Like you should totally just stick to that, and you can mess around within that same realm. But as soon as you dabble outside of that, right, and try to go into, like, you just got to treat it like it's its own discipline. So for instance, I'm going to game dev, and as I'm going into game dev, I'm like, I'm making some choices that I think I'm going to artistically basically switch to essentially switch over to stylized artwork, because one, it'll be cheaper and faster for me to do it this way. um and two, I really have always loved stylized work. I just didn't choose it when I began. I'm a technician at heart, right? I really like to be technically good at stuff. It's not as much as being stylistic. So now I'm focusing on game development, and so the technical part of my itch is being scratched with programming. But then artistically, I have a chance here to try to change my style. So I can paint. When I paint these monsters. But then when I design game characters, I design these realistic, or I design these more fun-loving characters. And it's a challenge because I don't have a lot of skill in it, designing more stylistic characters. So I'm trying to think of ways to practice that when I have that extra time. Oh man, my nose keeps running, my head keeps throbbing. Oh, but you know what? This is a good point to talk about. I'll answer your next question, Mark, in just a second. So I have like a throbbing headache. It's like really bad right now, but I'm still able to paint pretty good, right? Now most people can't do this, and the reason why I can do it is because, like, specifically when I'm painting too, it's like it's not anything of a challenge to me. I paint this type of stuff all the time, and that goes back to kind of the point I'm making of, like, if you just practice a lot, you really will gain that consistency. That's just incredibly challenging to do, right? For a lot of other artists that I see, and I think it's because a lot of them treat art like some sort of gift, right? I treat it like a skill. Like I have, and actually, I take that back. I don't think a lot of artists think that. Not, at least not the pros. Most pros get it. They understand that this is a skill, and you have to sharpen that skill. But people who start out, they don't have that resolve yet. And I do. So even though I'm feeling real sick, I feel pretty capable of drawing weird shit. Just like I feel capable of walking around my house, even though I have a headache, because walking still is very easy to me. Yeah, it's bad because, like, right now I'm like closing my eye too because the side of my head hurts like so badly. And I'm not trying to come off as arrogant or cocky. It's just the reality, right? Like, right, I just paint a lot of tumor stuff. If you guys were to ask me to draw like a car right now, there would be no way, dude. I cannot do it because I'm not good at it. I don't know how to. I just don't. I don't think it would be too hard for me to transition, like to learn how to draw cars, because I would have a lot of things available to me, like the ability to paint pretty well, right? But I don't understand car architecture and design and the flow. I just don't. So it's going to be a challenge. And I think it's incredibly important to understand. Like when I approached programming, I approached it with the same sense of like wonder that I came with art, which is I don't know shit. Time to learn some shit. Yeah. But anyways, to answer your question, what should we avoid the most when once we get a job? Oh, to stop painting personal work. Yeah, I see this a lot. I see a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll like just work. They'll stop working on their portfolio, they'll stop working on personal work, and then then they potentially start to hate their job or start to feel complacent in their job, and they want to find a way out. And with that comes, like, you need to revamp your portfolio. And so if you have nothing in your portfolio, then it's kind of like you have to start working on it. But if you're constantly working on your portfolio, even when you're not trying to look for a new job, right? You get approached a lot. People start to recognize your work. They start to follow your work. These types of things. It's really nice, you know. And so I'd say, yeah, that's probably the biggest thing you shouldn't do. And aside from obvious stuff, like don't push people down flights of stairs. Don't do stuff like that. You know, just don't do stupid shit. My heart says illustration, but I want to get better at concept art. I have been studying painting since the beginning. I did not see concept art as a separate discipline back then. Now I'm trying to do more concepts. Yeah, concept art is absolutely a different discipline, right? You got to treat everything like it's a different discipline, even within concept art, right? Environments versus characters versus props versus mechs, you know, like treat everything differently and you'll be better off. But if you really like to do illustrations, then learn concept art just as a tool to help you be more inventive with illustrations. But in a lot of situations, illustrators are already given a brief of images to draw, like that Laura Croft poster that you did. That's like kind of what an illustrator would do, right? But Laura Croft would have already been designed. You just gotta put her in like a cool, epic environment, which Tube probably is designed. So all you're doing is painting it and repositioning the camera and posing the character and hopefully bringing some sort of artistic value to the illustration. So yeah, there's really no need to learn concept art to as an illustrator, but obviously I can understand the benefit of it. Just like there's a benefit to be learning how to illustrate to be a better concept artist. So you can have your concepts be a little bit more illustrative, so they don't look so cheap. Should I do put aside or illustrating aside, talking like Ruin Jaya stuff? No, if you like illustration, even though you did concept art for like the last month for my class, no, dude, stick to illustration. I'm a big fan of doing what you think you like to do. There's nothing wrong with like, and I even said it when I was looking at your portfolio, like you're at least staying consistent with like character illustration, right? So you did some character designs for my class, but at least you're still within that realm. But if you feel you love illustration, then you need to start pumping out illustrations. It's just how it is. There are a few things to consider. Being an illustrator, they don't pay nearly as much as a concept artist. There's not as many jobs as there once were, but they do exist, and people are looking for illustrators, and they do pay money. Just not as much as, let's say, a really well-known concept artist. Because usually a concept artist is an idea generator, right? Or a visual idea generator. Like someone comes to you with like an idea, and then you go pen to paper. Any other questions? I'll take one last profound question, friends. In your opinion, are we ready to get a job? I think all of you guys are obviously more, some of you more than others. Like, I think Yasha has a real good shot. He's not too far away from it. Okay. But overall, yes, of course you guys all can. But the quality of that job will vary, right? Because there's work out there for all sorts of talent. That's why I always encourage not just to get better, but to go out there and talk to people. Because when I first started working, I actually wasn't as good. I mean, I still kind of think that I wasn't a very good artist when I got my first jobs. But I was really friendly, and that did a lot. And I was really outgoing. I would go and talk to people all the time. You know what I mean? I was a very friendly person, and I make a lot of friends very easily. And so that helped. And so as time went on, I became more and more skilled, and so I didn't have to be as friendly. I mean, I still am, but I'm just saying, wasn't as valuable as my skills. And so now I don't even need to talk to someone; people will find me. But that took like a long time, you know. And so I would say that, yeah, many of you guys can start working. It's just that nobody will find your work. You don't have enough work for you to pick up on those bigger jobs. But smaller studios, people who may pay you a few $100s for the kind of work that you guys got, that's not too bad, right? But if you want to get more and more income, you just got to put more and more time in. The way I think about it is like every time I spend an hour on my skills, that adds like a couple cents to my overall salary, right? And it seems like not a lot, but if you keep doing it, it adds up. You understand? I did like the math on it, and I thought it added up too. I think it was like 5 cents. So every hour you work, you add 5 cents to your skill set. Let's see. Because like for a whole year, 365 times, it'll spend like on average for like a whole year, like 8 hours a day. So then how much is that? 160, $146. How did I do this math? I don't get this. Times 10? Yeah, I don't get this. I did the math and it made sense to me at the time. Yeah, but it was pretty much like that, and I could add it to my hourly rate or something like that. That's what it was, or something. I forget exactly what it was, but it added up to like where my salary is at now, which is close to when I work for studios, it's close to 100 to 120,000 a year. So much money I make from freelance, which is nice. I think I could make more too if I was a hustler, but I just don't hustle very well. But most of you guys could probably start with like $30,000-$40,000 salaries easily. But I don't think you guys should take those jobs. You should wait till you get your $60,000, $70,000 jobs, which is like the kinds of jobs where you work for like big studios. And it's all relative. Like 30,000 in a different country could equal $100,000, if you know what I mean. Like you have to consider cost of living and stuff like that. Like although I may make upwards of 100,000, like my rent is like $3,000. You know what I mean? It goes away real quick. And so, and everything is super expensive. Like a gas is like $4 a gallon. It's incredibly high. Everything's like a couple cents more, a couple of dollars more than other countries and other states. So it just all adds up. Like to live incredibly comfortable in the country or in the state that I live in the county that I live in, I need to make more than that. And that's why I do a lot of freelance and I teach. But anyway, hope that helps you guys out. Listen, guys, there's a lot of snot. Sorry. You guys have been awesome. Keep up the passion. Keep the focus. Draw every day if you can, even if it's only for a few hours. It all adds up, trust me. Now, I think that anyone who ever takes my class, they have a real shot and real opportunities in this industry. If you just keep pursuing and keep going to events and keep showing your work and putting it out there, you will start being approached slowly but surely. You know, not everybody will get the biggest and baddest jobs, but some of you may get some really good ones that'll keep you stable for quite a while. There are a lot more studios opening up, and there's a lot more opportunity and more room for talent. So you just got to put your head into the ether and look around and see what opportunity awaits. Don't stop, you know, really try, really pursue. And it will take some time, but eventually it will work out. I think the people who invest in my class have a real good shot, because spending $500 is a real expense, and that shows me that you have the kind of passion and the drive that you need to pursue these types of careers. Okay, it is incredibly obtainable. Do not doubt that. It really is available to you. If you're coming from different countries, you know, I know it might be more challenging, but trust that the world's globalizing, meaning there's more opportunities available for people who are in different parts of the world. So anyways, thanks again, guys. Can't wait to see your guys' progress for Friday. Again, there's no official class or anything. I'll just probably snoop in and check out what you guys did. And with that, ladies, everyone, have a great one. And thanks for taking the class. I really appreciate it. Peace out, guys. Now I'm going to go lay down. Yeah, I'll work on it. Peace out, friends. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. Please subscribe to watch more in the future. If you liked the video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. If you like this content, you can go to my website, robotpencil.net, where you can find mentorships, tutorials, and a Patreon to get more exclusive content. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys in my next videos.